Okay, so what is this? This is Lost in Yocto. We will explain someday, somehow, how we came up with that name, but this is not the day. And I will introduce my friends Shireen.
Hi guys, it's nice to be in the podcast.
And Nonso, we have on the other side.
Hello everyone. Really excited to be here, everyone. Looking forward to having this great conversation with both you, Conrad, and Shireen.
What are we going to talk about today? This is, I think, the first question that we need to ask.
Yes, we're going to talk about the Shawshank Redemption. I think you guys already saw that. Like, how many years ago?
Oof, that's a question that will, of course, reveal our ages. But for me, it was like 20 years ago, or maybe even more. Close to the releasing date. Yes. I'm sorry to say I'm older than you. Older enough to know that this movie was in cinemas when I first realized that this was when it came out. I mean,
Yeah.
What about you? Sorry,
I actually watched it this week. This is the first time that I did. I've already heard about it a lot. Yes, I do.
How dare
I know.
you?
How barbarian of me. But yeah, I only got the chance this week. I always put it to watch, and then I go like, no, this is not the time for it, But yeah, I was motivated this week.
I get what you mean. I have a lot of movies that I know that I need to watch. I have to if I like cinema whatsoever.
Yeah.
And then you have at least I say someday I will do in this movie. I will watch this movie, but you never find the time. So you're okay. You're okay. We are not going to judge you because you waited 25 years to watch a movie. That's fine. What about you, no?
So when Shawshank came out, I had no idea about it. But in fact, it was my wife who actually told me it's one of the best movies of all time. I should give it a shot. This was about 7 years ago when I met her. And I watched it. I loved the movie. And I'd say the last time I watched Shawshank was last night. Again, just to make sure. Because I've watched it like 4 times. Last night should be the 4th time I've watched it again. So I had to, do a quick cap of it last night, and still did not disappoint.
Wow, I don't know if I would dare to watch this movie so many times because it's heavy, right? It's quite heavy. It's a very emotional, and it's an emotional trip. This movie. The last 20 minutes or so, I was like almost weeping, with a lump in my throat. So that's a nice experience, but not for 5 times, I suppose.
Question. I mean, you're weeping emotionally because a sad weep, or more of, whew, I'm happy, a happy ending weep? What kind of weep was this?
Well, I don't think. There are happy endings, of course, but mostly they are bittersweet endings. Because in this movie, one of the things that I was thinking about was all the rest of the guys that were still in prison, that were not released. And also, it's a bittersweet because, okay, now you have the rest of your life to enjoy, but you were 40 years in prison. You cannot take that away, so it's not really... Yes, it's a happy ending, but is it a happy life when you spend 40 years in prison? So, that's why you have a bit of sadness too, not just happiness at the end.
Yeah, I agree with that. I was actually sobbing throughout the movie. If you only were weeping at the end, I wept the whole way through.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, I totally see your point, Conrad. But I'd also like to add, you would not necessarily say you spent 40 years of your life in prison, or the inmates some of them spent 40 years plus of their lives in prison. And is that how they spend their lives? And don't forget, the question, there was a saying in the movie that at some point the walls become your home. The walls become what you're used to.
Yeah.
You become an important person while you were in there. So you going out to the world itself now becomes different, because in there you're someone, you're respected, but out there you're a convict. So it depends on how you see it. Like what was his name? The guy who was released. I can't recall
Brooks.
what his Brooks. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Brooks. You see, he got out of prison, and he didn't want to go at first. He didn't want to leave at first.
Hmm?
But when
Yeah,
he did, he took his life because the world was so different from what he knew. And I actually could relate with that, because at some point you don't have to. I mean, of course, you'd like to do more with your life. You'd like to travel, drive a nice car, meet a nice lady, have a nice family. But if you can't do any of those things out there, you could be someone who's of importance inside. I'm not saying being in prison is a good thing, though. But yeah,
No, I get your point, but that's not a life of your choosing. He was forced to live that way. He knew it, of course, he was comfortable, but that doesn't mean that he was enjoying being in prison. He knew otherwise, but yeah, I think that I would not call that a good life.
It's not a
okay.
good life, yes, but it's what he knows,
Yeah.
It's what he knows his entire life. I think he spent like 50 years, right? 50 years in prison. And actually what resonated with me was when he first got out and he saw the automobiles. He said that he only saw one when he was little. And when you're inside those walls, just as Nonso said, real world just goes on. Time doesn't stop for you. So yeah. Brooks' storyline actually just
It's the saddest,
killed
maybe.
me. Yeah.
Is it saddest that we know of? We don't know about other inmates who were also there.
Sure.
Yeah. It's just his was picked out from the numerous inmates. And the question also we should ask is, it's not as if he chose to be there. It's not as if he wanted to be there. No, it's not as if he initially he must have done something, because we didn't quite get to hear what he did.
Yeah, we did.
Just like Red, we got to understand what Red did.
Yeah.
But for Brooks and the other guys, they say they're all innocent.
Yeah,
Except
exactly. The lawyer messed him up. Yeah.
Exactly. The lawyer messed him up. You understand? So for Brooks, we don't know exactly what he did. So whatever thing he did, and they put him in there for that purpose, it was to rehabilitate him. Given the length of duration, it probably was murder. I don't know, but for that length, it couldn't have been some minor crime. You understand? So it's sad, but at some point he chose to be there because of his actions. But still, it's not a way to live.
Yeah, and these kind of movies that makes you, empathize with the guys that did wrong. It's the murderers and assassins and whatever, and you're rooting for them. This is something very normal, I would say, in movies. But at the end of the day, you say, okay, but yeah, when you think about it outside the movie, like you're saying, they deserve to be there, maybe. So
yeah, at first it started like when they were taking bets. You saw like a little bit of their playful side and how like they just passed their time there, and you only thought of them as criminals. And then by the end of the movie and what you saw, you just see a vulnerable side of them. So yeah, I root for them in some way. Yeah.
If I were to ask you, other than Brooks, we've just talked about, and the main characters, that is played by Morgan Freeman and Tim Robbins as both Red and Dufresne. If I were to ask you, what other character would you say resonated with you or touched you? Who would it be? The other inmates, that is, yes, or everyone in the movie. Yeah. I'll go. If you'd like, I'll go first, or Shirin. Okay, Shirin, yes, please.
I forgot his name, but the Spanish guy that was killed.
Oh yeah,
Tommy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Likewise. Like,
man,
I felt sad.
I was so angry with the what's it called?
With the warden, yeah.
Yeah.
That is Warden Norton.
And I know him when there was a guard that came and said that he wanted to talk to you, and the place that they went to talk to was actually outside of the prison. And then when he looked up at the guard, as an okay, shoot him, I went sobbing again. That is the third time for me sobbing. And I will not forget Jack the Crow also. We can consider him as
That's
an
a good one.
inmate.
But he was not a faithful or a loyal inmate, because after he left,
Yeah.
he never visited Brooks anymore. That's what's so sad.
But it abandoned Brooks. Come on.
Yeah. Oh, it's abandoned Brooks. I mean, it was so sad. It was so sad. Although it's not as if they changed context, though. Yeah.
For me, it has to be. I don't know. I didn't watch it 5 times to remember the name of all the inmates, but
Yeah.
I would say the guy, the blonde guy that was also threatened by Brooks with knife.
You mean Haywood?
Yeah, I think he was. I was expecting that guy to be bad, let's say, and he was completely the opposite. He was really supportive and understanding, and I don't know, supporting the other 2 main characters all the way. So for me, he was the hidden gem. Yeah.
I also liked Haywood because, well, Haywood teaches us something. It taught me something.
Who was Haywood?
Haywood, the guy who you just talked about right now.
Okay, that's the name. Okay.
That's Haywood. Yeah, he taught me something, and it is, you might outside world, when you're not in prison. This from the movie, that is. You might be mean. You might, I don't know. You might act you might be different.
Yeah.
But when you're in prison, and those people who you see, you cannot make new contacts unless new inmates are coming in. So it's who you have there and who you can bond with, and you get to understand people for who they are. And I think that's what happened with the whole squad of the Shawshank, the main characters, that is. I mean, they formed some sort of brotherhood because they became a tight-knit, and it was so interesting because they all come from different backgrounds. And there might be a possibility that in the outside world, they would have never actually gotten to speak to one another. But in there, they formed some sort of bond and friendship, and it was beautiful. And I think that's what happened to Haywood.
That's actually a very good observation. Also, every time that new guys come, it's like every time that new guys came to prison, it was like, for us, it's like, I don't know, the 4th of July in the US or something like that. Yeah. Like a big crowd party. That was good. I don't know if that's for real, but it's interesting.
On the matter of your earlier comments, bittersweet, yeah? I mean, the way the movie was laid out, it made you... It's... I'm someone who is trustworthy. I like to trust people. So when the warden, in as much as he was exploiting Dufresne, and when Dufresne was giving out these services, like, for example, doing the tax returns for the guards and the baseball guys who came and helping the warden do paperwork and hide his money, and the warden was giving him special treatment, I felt they are working with one another. You understand? I really liked that, and I actually said trusting the warden, because I felt the warden was going to be on the Dufresne's side. But you said that twist where Tommy came in, I think that was the twist for Dufresne in the movie that made because at some point, correct me if I'm wrong, everyone, before Tommy came in, before Dufresne found out before everyone found out that Dufresne was actually innocent, we all liked the warden. I mean, we all felt he was there to try to rehabilitate people, except forget about the corruption part. We felt he was a man who was just trying to get ahead, but he's a man who is a righteous man with the whole Bible, I swear by the Bible, kind of like right. And I mean, that kind of feeling. But when Tommy came in, Tommy was the twist. And he then spoke the truth and he killed him. I lost hope in that word. I felt, he took his life. I did not feel for him. I thought he should have gone to prison.
No, nobody does. But I don't think that's the case for me. Well, maybe the first time I watched the movie was 20 plus years ago, so I don't remember. I knew that he was not good, but at the beginning, when the movie starts, and he welcomes in the new inmates, he speaks about the Bible and the discipline, and in a very harsh way, like he's telling you, "I'm not a good guy. You will do what I say." In a very meaningful way. So I didn't get that vibe that he was kind of good. He did good things maybe, but for his own benefit, and that was it. I don't know. What's your impression, Shireen?
Yeah, when it started not going his way, he started acting up, and I think I actually agree with Conrad on this, because I didn't think he was a good guy from the get-go, using the Bible and then just letting the guards beat up inmates, beat up criminals, and then convicts, and then Andy doing the tax returns for him and for the guards. That was okay, but then when he was just started muggling money for him, I knew that there's going to be a side to him that's not going to just like a ticking bomb that's going to like explode at the end. And when Tommy came, that just verified what I was thinking of. And I think also that him killing Tommy actually made Andy. I think at that time the hole was already in the wall, right?
I'm not sure.
The hole was already completed. I think yes. At that time, when Tommy came, and when the warden was it?
Warden.
Yeah,
Warden Norton,
he killed Tommy, yeah. When he killed Tommy, yeah. But Andy stayed there to get Tommy's revenge. He stayed there to steal the books, steal the money that he muggled for the warden, And yeah, I think that was satisfactory at the end.
Yes, of course. This movie, it's everything. It's tidying up to be satisfactory at the end.
Yeah.
But based on people who got what they deserved, I think the warden got an easy way out compared to Captain Hadley. The captain, Captain Hadley, for example, who was acting all tough, but when they arrested him, he started to cry. I felt Hadley got the wrong end of the stick.
and I think that's that's something that they tell you to make you feel better, but I don't think that fits in with the character, that he started crying when he was jailed. But these kind of movies, they are forced into a good feeling at the end, and I think that little bit was part of it too.
But when Red was narrating that, he said that he didn't see him, and they actually didn't show the shot, so maybe he didn't cry. Yeah, I didn't believe that also.
Please go.
No, I was gonna say that the feeling that you get with this guy, with the captain of the jail guards, it's very similar to the one with the warden, because he also has glimpses of good actions, like for example the beer, when he brings in the beer for the inmates, and he also takes one. Like you think about it at that time, you think about, okay, he will be better now with them. He will be more condescending, whatever. And no, he was a beast anyway. He didn't care. He liked beating people. Doesn't matter who or the relationship that he has with them.
And actually, when he beat up one of the sisters too, that was so satisfactory.
Yeah, that was
put him in the wheelchair. I was yes, we should kill this guy.
That was Doug's Diamond, right? Yeah. That was beautiful.
Yeah.
That was beautiful.
But there is one more fan service that the movie does for you. Yes, it's a fan service. And also, since we were talking about this, I think one of the lines that I liked the most of the whole movie was like something like, the blonde guy says about the sisters, that they say like, you have to be human to be homosexual. No, you have to be human first to then be homosexual. It was beautiful for me because that summarizes describing those people.
Yeah.
I was so mad when they actually assaulted him at first, and I think that went on for 2 years, 2 whole years, until like the Warren and the guards took action on the sisters. After they put him in the infirmary for 1 month, I guess. Yeah.
That's because 1 month and the friend could not do their tax returns or whatever service he was providing, and they needed to make sure their starman was available at every 24/7.
And also something that I think this movie does very well is like playing, let you know that he was assaulted, and letting you know that he was maybe penetrated or whatever.
Yes,
And then,
yeah.
because normally in movies you see that they hide those things. It's like you cannot touch the protagonist. He has his dignity has to remain untouched, you know. And in this movie, they let you know that yes, he did suffer all those, of course. And why would in another movies like, I don't know, I'm thinking about Stallone movies or Schwarzenegger movies or those big action stars movies. When they go to jail, they are, you know, untouchable. You cannot mess around with their dignity. And this one they did. And I think that was a very good choice.
Yes, it's a delicate subject to touch, actually. And they did emphasize on that. They did like Red, when Red was narrating, he did say that I would like to say that he did not get assaulted, but that's not how the word works in jail, you know?
Yeah.
And the shot was like fading away from that. So yeah.
Very good. Yes. And also something else I like a lot was I see that they discover Morgan Freeman voice after this movie, because the narration, it's flawless. I
would like him to narrate my life. It's not an exciting life to narrate, but I would like him to narrate.
Yeah. He's really good narrator.
Voice is so soothing.
What other things you like or dislike about the movie that we haven't touched yet?
I actually wanted to talk about Jack the Crow.
All right.
At first, the first shot when Andy was eating his lunch and he got a worm out of the lunch, and Brooks was like, "Are you going to eat that?" I thought Brooks was going to eat it, actually.
Really?
And then I really did. And then when he gave it to the bird, I was like, okay, so this is the first let's say convict that we're going to touch on a more vulnerable, more sensitive way, you know. And then when he was big, when he grew up, the crow, when he grew up, and when he was released, I cried a lot. But I think Jack the Crow's storyline goes similar to Brooks in the context that Jack was domesticated in jail, you know, and he only knows how to live in jail. He only knows how Brooks takes care of him. Brooks gives him his worms, his lunch, his whatever food that is. And then when he went out, I think he didn't survive. I would like to think he did, but I don't think he did, you know, because he doesn't know the life that the normal crows live.
So you're suggesting that Jake the Crow hung himself from somewhere?
No, not hang, not hang himself, but maybe he didn't survive. Maybe that's why he didn't go back to Jake, or he didn't find.
I would agree that's very poetic.
He did his emotional support part for Brooks' character, you know. So yeah.
That's actually, I haven't think about that, but yeah, it's nice.
Yeah.
You know, so you have something.
You know, for me, it's not about. Mine is about the certain lessons the movie passes on. And I mean, there are quite a few, but I'll just maybe one or two. Like where the word Norton mentioned, every man should have a skill. I mean, I think that's great because while you're in prison, I feel prison takes out the best in you and turns you into something else. I mean, yes, I think the concept is for people to go to prison and get rehabilitated, just like what Morgan Freeman said towards the end before they gave him, they released him on parole. And he said this rehabilitation, I mean, what's the word exactly? Is he supposed to be in prison to get better, or is it just a made-up word? Because it's like most of the guys who got into prison, yes, they might feel regret or remorse on what they did, depending on who you hang with, but also it could make or break you. You understand? And if you don't, just like the friend, the main character, just like the friend, he got into prison. He had a plan. Fine, he's a smart guy. He had a plan, and that plan got him out of prison. But you also see before those 20 years in which he dug his way out of out the wall, I mean, he kept himself busy. He kept himself occupied. He kept himself making crafts, doing tax returns, built a library, tried to help. What's his name again? Tommy. Tommy gets. I mean, you see, he tried to remain human, if I may use that word. He tried to remain sane. And it just goes to say that no matter where you find yourself, hopefully not in prison, but wherever you find yourself, you should have something that you can always fall back on that keeps you in check. Because that's those small things that we take for granted are actually the things that may end up saving us.
Wow, and suddenly this podcast is about helping you. self-help. No, but yeah, I agree. That's really, I think it's the message of the movie in general.
You actually see a glimpse of his character at first when they didn't name him, but when the fat guy was announced that he was dead, and everybody was silenced, and then he was like, "What's his name?" You know, that's not the first thought that you think of. You don't think, "Oh, what's his name?" You get a glimpse of his character there, that he's different from the others.
Sharon, not to bust the bubble, they named him. His name was Fat Ass.
I know. I told you.
even at the end of the movie, you check the credit scenes, you see
really?
Fat Ass.
Really?
Yeah.
No.
Check it out. Look it up. Look it up. Look it up.
You made me remember when they read the name of the author, Alexander Dumas. They say Damas.
Damas.
That was. I mean, that movie had it all, man. I think that movie. I mean, one of the most recent movies that you watch nowadays that you feel has humor is like, I mean, not for this podcast though, but it's like Avengers. They try to put in those slight, bits and pieces of humor in it. But I think Shawshank had it all. It was super for its time in 1994. Man, that was good.
Oh, be careful! Humor. 1994 is the year of
Forrest Gump. Also,
Forrest Gump that won the Oscar. Pulp Fiction. Oh, be careful! Be careful there.
Yeah, that was good. That was good. That was really, really good.
You know, guys, that we haven't mentioned who was the director. So just to fill in the missing information, here was Frank Darabont. I think it's pronounced. I think Shireen, you should be the one pronouncing this one.
Is he French?
He was of a French family. I think her father and mother were
Frank Darabont. Darabont.
I
feel like I'm giving you speaking lessons.
Darabont.
Darabont.
Darabont. Damas.
Darabont.
Sounds like Darabont.
And he directed a lot of movies, all of them based on Stephen King's books. So the other ones that he did, very few actually, was The Green Mile, was also from 1999, and The Mist, that is from 2007. And then he was a creator of the series, not based on Stephen King, but the other guy, I don't remember the name, the Walking Dead series.
No.
TV show, yes.
No.
Was one of the creators.
Walking Dead. Okay. I'm not. I mean, this is not a podcast for Walking Dead, also, but I'm not also. I don't want to hit on the Walking Dead fans out there, but I think Walking Dead season 1, 2, 3 was the stuff. Maybe 4. After that, I don't know what it was.
I agree with you. I left in the third season. Yeah.
I don't know what it was. I stopped. It became The Walking.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, much of the same. I would change the title to the same and the same again. And for everybody that wants to watch the movie, I think you can find it on Netflix. I didn't watch it there, but I think it's in Netflix.
It's on Netflix.
Yeah, it's on Netflix. Because it's Columbia. I think that all the Columbia movies that are from Sony Entertainment are on Netflix.
It's on Netflix. Trust me, I was up to 2 a.m. trying to catch up on it again.
Okay. I think we are done with this movie. I think, of course, it's one of the best movies ever. So we don't have to add much to that.
Guys, I want to ask one question, Joe. I think this question has been something I've been always meaning to ask. The escape scene, not him crawling 1.5 miles through the tunnel of shit, no. But don't you find that escape scene a bit, I don't know, made up? Because first, how did he escape? Oh, no, he dug the wall. But how did he put the sticker back on the wall? And how coincidental was it that on the night of his escape, there was a thunderstorm? Did he have some sort of, I don't know, app that told him, hey, tonight is the night to escape because of the thunderstorm? I mean, how did he know? And how did he fix the poster back on the wall after he passed through the wall?
Yes, and how did he dig the pipe of the shit pipeline?
How did he do all this?
They showed that with a rock, but it's not.
Come on.
Not enough for me.
Exactly.
I'll let that slide.
I will give 1,000 euros to anybody that can break that big of a hole from a
Sebastian, be careful what you ask for. Never mind the people out there.
No, it's very. I can answer maybe the day that he picked, because they show you like he picked the day before they show you that it was a thunderstorm. But I think that because of the thunderstorm, he picked that day. But yeah, they don't make that clear enough for you to believe it. The hole in the pipeline, I was thinking about the same.
Yeah.
And the poster also. How did he do that? Yeah.
How did he fix it? Exactly?
Yeah,
that was tricky.
True. But the poster doesn't matter really much, because even if he does not leave the poster on, he had already enough time to escape.
No, I think I figured it out. Sorry to cut you off, Conrad. So, if you do recall in the movie, when they were showing us the glimpse of how he started digging, making a hole in the wall. So on so basically, just imagine the poster has the 4 sides. And he opened one of the sides.
Mm-hmm.
And was digging through. So it's probable he might have gone through there, and then of course he automatically just falls back. He just crawled out the wall.
But not so. How thick would the tape be?
Well,
he went in crawling.
Yeah, I'm not the director.
Guys, we're going too far. Questioning those things.
I've been able to answer that question because I've been asking myself, how did he get out of there? How did he stick it back? But think about it. He just smuggles his way through in there from one of the sides, of course, and he's out. So I think the next question should now be, how did he break the pipes now and crawl out of the sewage?
I think that's the big one. The other one is like, there are other movies that they're flying cars in space, so why do you care about the poster? But the pipe, that's the big plot hole. Maybe.
Yeah.
And the interesting thing also is that he didn't plan to escape at first when he ordered the rocket hammer from the rock hammer from Red. It was by accident that a chunk of the wall fall out. So yeah, he didn't plan to escape at first.
That's I'm not sure, because I think that this movie does very well, and the book too, to hide the idea that he was planning to escape all the way through, so from the beginning, because he was digging for 20 years. But
20 good years.
Until that's something that I watched the movie with my girlfriend the other day, and she was enjoying it a lot more than myself, because he didn't know that she thought that in the end the guy was going to die, hang himself or whatever, but suddenly he escapes.
Yeah.
And that's a really nice surprise and twist. If you watch the movie for the first time, I think it was done very, very well also.
Yeah. Good movie. Good movie.
Yeah. Okay.
Guys, I'd like to ask, based on this, I mean, in as much as the movie is one of the best movies of all time, on a rating of 1 to 10, what would you rate the movie? I'll go with you first, Conrad.
You're asking ratings. I don't know. I think this will be a 9 or 10, maybe, for me. If we strictly have to rate the movie.
Yeah, I think so. Also, for its time, though, keep in mind the time that it was released in, because just like you said before, when just like Conrad said before about the end where you were supposed to think he is going to hang himself. I actually thought that, because nowadays movies have a bit more of a realistic ending. You think, no, this is not happily ever after. No, this is not going to happen. And then when he did escape, I didn't think Red was going to be approved for release. I thought, okay, he went on, but Red is not going to escape. In my mind, no, this is not happy ending.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would give it a 9 also. Yeah.
Likewise, 9 or 10. Fantastic movie.
I was expecting a 10 or a 10 for you.
9 or 10. I mean,
all right.
It's a fantastic movie. I mean, if I can watch a movie more than 3 times and don't get bored, to me, that's a pass. That's a good one. That's a good movie. That's a good movie. And guess what? I'm going to once my kids start watching movies, other kind of movies that are not Spider-Man and Flash, I am going to introduce them to this movie and watch with them again. So, we've just slot. I mean, as much as we've talked about the Shawshank Redemption, how great of a movie it was for its time and still present. We've also just, already brought in kids and Flash and superhero movies.
Yeah.
So, with regards to that, how do you see the whole super movie? I don't know.
Genre.
I don't know what to call it. Exactly, genre. How do you see it? Who's your favorite? Who do you feel, it's someone who you really like? And who do you feel is, he could have done better?
or can be taken out entirely.
He could have done better, yes. Or taken us entirely, like Conrad has said.
I will let you start, Shirin, because
ladies first.
It's a complicated matter.
Okay. Should I start now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hit us. Come on.
Okay. My 2 favorite, if I'm choosing 2 favorite superheroes at the moment, not of all time, at the moment. First, I would have to go probably because the last science fiction / superhero movie I watched was Guardian of the Galaxy. So I'm talking about Rocket here. I liked how the development of his character was throughout the whole trilogy. That we see the part of him that made him who he is in the first movies. What made him mean, what made him not trust people, what made him like be some kind of a convict also, you know. And my second one, this may come.
Wait.
Yes,
Let's do first a round of one, and then we discover the second. So
okay.
we have a little bit of suspense, you know.
Okay.
But what are our comments also on that statement? Because I have one.
I love Rocket.
You love
Literally,
Rocket, and that said that.
I love Rocket. He can do me no wrong.
No, look, I do like Rocket too, but you're you know, it's your favorite character because of a human approach to it, not
Yes,
because of
yeah.
his superhero I don't know, bubble like superpowers or things that he does, but because he's
I mean, he's very intelligent. Maybe that's
Yeah.
one of his superpowers. He's very intelligent. Yeah, okay, yeah. Maybe I'm approaching this as a storyline
yeah, exactly.
instead of superpowers. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, so what is your first favorite?
So, once a Batman fan, always a Batman fan. So, my favorite is always. Oh, because it's just Batman. Is there a reason to be Batman? Like
You don't
even
have to
Batman
explain it, right?
even Batman doesn't know why he's Batman. That's Batman. I hear him. I'm Batman.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, his storyline goes. I mean, his parent killed in front of him as a kid. I mean, of course, with the wealth that came in, with the wealth he had from his parents, he could have done so many other things with it, but he decided to become Batman to avenge and not to, I don't know. I think one of the stories was to avenge his parents, also to fight crime, and and fight the corrupt system.
Yeah, but a policeman fights crime too.
Yeah, but they were also
a lawyer fights
they were corrupt. If you think about it, they were also all corrupt. I mean, the police could do as much as they could.
No.
They could only do as much. But you see, Batman's approach was he won't kill you, but he'll beat you to a pulp. Not that I stand for that, but still.
He's violent enough.
He will hospitalize you at some point. Yeah, but
he will break all your bones, but he won't kill you. So he's okay.
Other than his fighting abilities, I really like Batman because he's very tactical, he's very smart, he's really intelligent. Yeah, and he took down Superman.
That's a big one for you.
Yeah, he took down Superman. Superman is always that he has this feel that I'm Superman. You can't beat me. But yeah, that whoop ass was. It was good. No offense to Superman fans out there, but
yeah, you're worried about offending many people in this podcast.
This you don't. I mean, you never know, man.
Yeah,
you never know. That's true.
You never know. Easily.
Yeah, people can start hitting you, looking for you online. As I say, hey, this lady looking for this guy, and spam his account.
Right, indeed. No, I have to agree on Batman. That's my first choice too, but not because. Let's clarify that we are picking characters that were represented in movies or TV shows, not from the comic books. Otherwise, it would be infinite source of discussion. But my Batman, my favorite Batman character, comes from the Batman animated series, not the movies.
The old one.
Wow, I love that one, and I love Kevin Conroy. That he died sadly last year as the voice of Batman. For me, he is the Batman that I like and I know and I enjoy the most. And those animated series, for me, changed the way that Hollywood or the US does comics in the TV. Because I was always a fan of anime, from Japan. I didn't like much the animation from the US, but this series for me it changed everything, and I think it's very adult. The character it's like in neo noir style, very serious. Like I think it's the one that represents the comics and the spirit of the comics the most. So yeah, that is my choice. I bet you don't have anything to say against that.
Actually,
Really?
that's my second favorite superhero of all
Okay.
time, though, not at the moment, of all time, because Batman for me is my childhood. And you were
Yeah.
talking about the animated series. I watched that as a child, and it was translated in Arabic actually. And I know the whole intro song in Arabic, though. And
Oh, you had to
I
sing it
know the
now.
whole. Oh no! I know the whole intro song with Arabic, of course. But yeah, I think Batman for me is a normal guy that's
Mhm.
intelligent, of course, and that's very wealthy, very rich. And he was using his, let's say, wealthiness and his intelligence for the good purpose of fighting crimes that normal people couldn't find. I mean, him as Bruce Wayne, he had the charity, he had the foundations that he did for crimes also that were concerning some crimes, yes. But Batman, he did the fighting for the maybe the criminals that were not touched by that foundation, that were not touched by that charity,
Mhm.
that you can't get a hold of them through that, through Bruce Wayne. And then again, maybe what his childhood was. Yes, when his parents were killed at the age of 8, I think, in front of him, and that didn't defer his purpose. That didn't make him say, "Oh no." Um, like life isn't la vie en rose, life isn't beautiful as
Yeah.
anyone sees it. So yeah, let me be pessimist about it. He wasn't like that. He was like, okay, there are crimes, okay, let me fight them. And second reason is he beat Superman also. Yes, that was a big one for me also. And actually, that he didn't defer his moral compass too. He had a lot of decisions in his life where he could have gone rogue,
Yeah, that's true.
but he didn't. No. So yeah,
I see you two
that's
guys are picking up characters because of the good that they do for the world instead of being badass or whatever. I think I got all this wrong.
no.
And your second one also?
That was a very difficult to choose for me.
Mm.
Yeah, I mean, growing up with so many comics and movies, but in this case, I'll have it to give it to someone who has not disappointed me yet. Doctor.
Strange.
Drum roll.
Yes, Strange.
Really?
That's not a very common pick, I would say. It's not
Yes.
a favorite normally.
I got to love him from the Avengers, and of course his movies also. I can watch his movies 3-4 times.
Benedict is very good.
And of course, he's played by Benedict Cumberbatch. I got to know Benedict Cumberbatch from Sherlock, the
Mhm.
episode
Yes.
series.
Yeah.
Man, I just said this guy, he's amazing. But it's not about Benedict in this case. It's about Doctor Strange, who he is as a person, and his storyline, of course, saving lives, arrogant, playboy, also, wealthy. But most importantly, I always go for superheroes that aren't just muscle. Like, I'm a big fan of the Hulk. I like the Hulk.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he's also smart. But when he turns into the Hulk, he becomes something that is just brute. So, I mean, such things. But for someone like Doctor Strange, I mean, in a one-to-one combat, like physical, without his whole magic spells and everything, you'll whoop his ass. But when it comes incorporating that with his knowledge, with his skills, with what he can actually do, and his quest for continuous knowledge, I find that very important because it's not always about beating the strongest person in a one-to-one combat, but because your opponent, of course, could be very smart. And if you don't know how to outsmart them, you could never beat them. And
Yes.
for me, Doctor Strange has all this. I mean, his conversations are very intellectual. You actually sit and actually think about. He's very calculative. As someone who is that calculative, he's a difficult opponent to beat. That's why I love the.
You know, you're making a point about outsmart your opponents and not just beat them. And it's something that also plays out into my second choice. because mine are Spider-Man and Wolverine. I cannot choose between those two, so I put both. And I think that in the sum of all the fights that I have seen them fight, I think that they lose more than they win. It's like Wolverine is always losing everything all the time because he's bad temper and then he's not smart enough to win a battle. And Spider-Man, he's always inferior in terms of superpowers to the villains that he's fighting against. So let aside the movies. I'm not talking about the movies, mostly animated series here, because you are very influenced by the latest MCU, no, the Marvel Cinematic Universe. But for me, the first time I was in contact with these superheroes were the animated movies, and Wolverine and Spider-Man were losing all the time. They have one single episode where they win. They always lose. So yeah,
especially Spider-Man.
Spider-Man, what?
Especially Spider-Man. He's your regular guy. He's your regular guy. Your next door neighbor. He seems that way.
Yeah.
And then when he lost his uncle,
yeah,
that was devastating. And then when he lost his first girlfriend, also that was devastating. And I think that was reflected. Let's talk about movies now. That was reflected in a different way throughout the three Spider-Mans that I know of, which were
Tobey
Maguire, Andrew Garfield, and then there's I forgot his name.
The last one, yeah, I don't
actually
remember either.
He was very good.
Yes, he's maybe the most Spider-Man of Spider-Mans.
Yeah, Tom Holland.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, he was very good at presenting Spider-Man as this goofy, this sweet character. Yeah. Wolverine, though, I didn't watch a lot of Wolverine movies except for the X-Men and the only ones that were there. But the comics, no, I didn't watch.
But Wolverine is completely different from the original. It's really very different because what is the name of the actor that plays Wolverine? I don't remember now.
Hugh Jackman.
Hugh Jackman. First of all, he's not doesn't have the physique to roll for Wolverine. I like him a lot, and that Wolverine I like that Wolverine that he plays, but it's far away from the original one from the comics.
When you say Wolverine, my first encounter with Wolverine was from X-Men, the X-Men of this old X-Men cartoon with Storm and Rogue with the Sentinels. Is that that's what you're referring to?
X-Men. Yeah. That's the. I think there are more different TV shows, animated TV shows, but that's the one that had the spirit that I'm talking about. It's from the 90s. Then they made a lot.
I love that cartoon, actually. I really love that cartoon.
Yeah. Okay, and what would be the two characters or superheroes or supervillains or whatever that you don't like at all, that you say, no, come on, this cannot be?
I have one that doesn't make sense for me. Not bad, not worse, but doesn't make sense for me. It's the Crypto, the dog, the super dog for Superman.
Yeah, very good.
I didn't get that.
No, he thought Crypto. Come on.
I didn't.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. Yeah, great.
Why?
That's bullshit.
I mean, Superman story. I don't know.
Okay.
The Supergirl, Superman, Super Dog, Super.
And also, if you think about it, in Krypton, they look similar to us. The dogs also look similar.
Yes.
It's like Krypton is completely another Earth. It's everything's the same.
Yeah. Oh my god, that's
true. Super dog is like
why? There's a why that needs to be answered. Yeah. Why?
Very good choice.
Krypton is super dog.
What do you have?
Second one. Okay.
Oh no, sorry. Please.
No, go ahead. No.
The feeling I don't understand is from um my first pick would be from the Avengers, and that is going to be Vision.
Okay. The
And I keep
Avengers,
saying,
the MCU Vision or Vision in
yeah,
general?
the MCU Vision,
Okay.
because I mean, when did we ever see Vision? Did you ever see Vision's true abilities? We did not.
Oh, no,
Yeah,
We
we
did
didn't.
not.
Yeah.
The only glimpse we got of Vision was in Ultron, Age of
Yes.
Ultron,
When
where
he was
At the
created, yeah.
end.
yeah, at the end. And at some point, I said to myself, man, Vision is going to be badass.
Yes.
He's going to kick ass, you know? I mean, who can take Vision down? I mean, Hulk won't, Tony won't, Captain America. I mean, I laid everybody out and I like, I don't know who. So when Avengers Infinity War came out, I was like, Thanos, you're going to get your ass handed to you. And lo and behold, Vision was a no-show.
So it's not
In
that you
fact,
don't like him, it's that you don't like what they did with the character.
I don't like what they did with the character for him, and to me, it just gave me a very low review of him. Considering I've not, I mean, I would not say for the cartoons. I have actually watched Vision in action in the cartoons. Maybe he played better roles in the cartoons, but in the MCU universe, I mean, everybody was hyped. Black Panther was hyped. Even Hawkeye was hyped. Vision, there was Vision. Yeah.
I have to agree that they didn't do a good job there.
Yeah.
And in my case, and you will not like my choice, but it's Iron Man. I think in
Who?
the
Iron Man.
yes, the
I have to hear
MCU
this.
Iron Man. I
I
think
have
he's
to hear this.
overrated. He has no superpower. He's too way more popular than all the rest, and I don't like that. He's not as cool he seems in the MCU. He's cool. He's not like that in the comics,
The cartoon, yeah.
and he's not as powerful and as they make him look like. Also, so I don't like. It's a similar case with you, Vision, and the MCU. I don't like what they did with the character. It works a lot for the movies and to sell Iron Man figures and whatever, but I don't think that that's well represented. Yeah, so that's why it's not that I don't like him. I'm jealous that he has more attention than other characters.
Comparing superpowers, though, there's no difference from him and Batman. He's intelligent. Batman is intelligent. He's wealthy. Batman is wealthy.
Yes.
I mean, they're actually the same. Maybe that's the Batman of the MCU, or
No, you really can't. But you see,
I love Iron Man.
But you see, Shireen,
I'm biased.
you have to have you have to also. I'm not trying to change anybody's perspective here, but you also have to understand, Batman. Right, he uses
I
his
know.
gadgets. He uses his gadgets also. It helps him a lot to escape or to do smoke bomb or to throw his. I mean, he uses his gadgets a lot, but also he can go one-on-one combat. You know, but Iron Man can't survive without his suit.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Iron Man can't.
Yes.
Yeah.
And also, Batman normally he fights like characters that also doesn't have superpowers, or at least they are more or less on the same level. Iron Man is like fighting Thanos. Come on, how can that be? That
Well,
cannot be.
The suit is helping him fight Thanos.
No, but I don't think any suit were, I don't know for what kind of materials he used for the suit, but whatever. That's not good enough to fight somebody like Thanos. Thanos beat the Hulk.
Wasn't that made of vibranium, though, from Wakanda?
Yes, but if you're in a car and somebody hits the car and you are inside the car, you will be hurt. Yeah. And it's the same case here. If you have whatever metal you have in front of your head, but your head is hit, you will feel that amount of power anyway. It's not like the metal absorbs the heat, you know? That's I'm too technical. I'm going too technical, but that's what I don't like. That I think that it made him powerful enough to fight the most powerful villain. I don't think that have to be because yeah.
I think in the last scene of Endgame, he actually, what you were talking about earlier, he outsmarted Thanos to steal
Who?
all those stones.
I
Iron Man, because at first he didn't. He actually was one-on-one with him fighting, and then he outsmarted him to steal the stones. Then he went whoop,
Yeah,
and out of
I
this
can
world.
buy that he's smarter than Thanos. That I can buy, but that the suit will not will protect him from any hit outside. That okay, doesn't matter. Next one. What else do you have?
I know this is controversial also, but Superman. Look, listen, listen,
Oh.
listen up.
my god! Oh, this is a big one. This is a big one.
I like him as a superhero, but the way they're telling his story, just don't do it for me. If you take he's powerful. He is one of the most powerful superheroes. He is the one that led the way for other superheroes also in comics.
Yeah.
But the way they're telling his story, they're only focusing on his powerfulness. You know why the Batman stories, in my opinion, work? Because they're actually focusing on his human side also, his loneliness, the thing that I said about his the moral compact, that sometimes he can go rogue.
Yeah.
But Superman, no, we're only focused on okay, he is powerful. He gets his power from the sun, and he shoots lasers from his eyes. Yeah, what else? Give me
But
something else.
Shirin, in terms of, so you're saying he.
I'm not talking about his own. I'm talking about the storyline of his character. I think they can do better. That's what I think. They can do better, because why Hulk also works. What's his power? He turns into something green that can smash anything in his way, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I can believe that. I can also believe that he shoots lasers out of his eyes from the power of the sun. Okay, yeah.
Powerful
But what
parts.
works is because he has a fight and a conflict between him and the other person that's inside of him, the Hulk. That's why I like him.
I think you have a point there, Shirin, with regards to Superman's the movie Superman.
The movie, yeah.
But if you do go into the
Story.
comic Superman, you actually see a vulnerable side of Superman. I mean,
Well, there is a movie, the movies from the 70s. That I think they started in the 70s, they finished in the last one in the 90s. With Christopher Reeves. There is a part where Superman is drunk in a bar, and he's
I would like to see that.
harassing the bartender. So yeah, he has problems. Come on, he's a drunk.
Yes, problems. Yeah, yeah. But you have a point here. I mean,
Yeah, no.
yeah.
You have a point. But also because he's not human, so that's why you cannot find human feelings in him. He's not human.
But there are other characters that are not human, and I can find some sympathetic side of them. Just like Rocket, as I said before, he's basically an animal. He's a raccoon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. I think you're right. You're right. The movies.
It's just my opinion. But I like him, though. I like him as a superhero. I do.
True.
But I think they can do him a little bit justice regarding his storytelling.
Those movies didn't make him justice. But there is a new movie, Superman Legacy, I think. Maybe that one will have something of what you're referring to, because it's under the wing of the director of Guardians of the Galaxy, James Gunn.
Yes, yeah, he moved to DC.
So if he did that with Rocket Raccoon, maybe he can do something similar to Superman. Wait
Finger
for it.
crossed.
So your second least favorite character?
My second least favorite character? Catwoman.
Catwoman. Which one?
All of them. From Halle Berry to the latest one to the one before that. Man.
No, the first one, Michelle Pfeiffer, was
amazing.
Yeah. He was amazing.
Sebastian, I don't know about that.
I'm telling you.
I don't say per se like hate Catwoman, but I've never really understood Catwoman. Maybe because I don't understand the character herself. Like, what's her role in the Batman universe? I mean, she's there as what exactly? Like, everyone has a
Sidekick.
story. Everyone has a story. Joker has a story. Bane has a story. Who else is in Batman? Red Hood has a story. Dick Ray, what's it called? Dick, the guy, what's his name? The guy under Batman's wing. Nightwing has a story. Zatanna has. Everyone literally has a bloody story except Catwoman.
Well, you mean that the story, the back storyline is very simple? What do you mean? Because
I don't know her backstory actually. Do you guys
exactly.
know?
She got it. Exactly. Like, Halle Berry, I think the one with Halle Berry, if I'm not mistaken, tried to portray that story a bit,
Yeah.
but still, like, So she fell into something, and some cats brought her back to life. What superpowers does she have?
Yeah, no, the superpowers where they come from is total bullshit. Yeah.
Exactly. So what superpowers does she have?
Because the cat lick her injuries, something like that, and then she became like a cat woman.
Exactly. It made no sense to me. I'm like, I don't hate her. By the way, don't get me wrong. I don't hate her character, but you see, they need to be consistent with the story. Batman, his family died. He became a vigilante. Superman, Krypton blew up. He came to Earth. Rocket, he was experimented on as a raccoon and given smarts. Iron Man, something happened to him and he was
They
in prison.
abducted him,
He got suits, and I mean, you see, all these people have something about them, whether they're in our top pros and or not. To Doctor Strange, background story makes sense. It's consistent. Catwoman, the one for Halle Berry, Cat licked her. The one for Michelle Pfeiffer, she just appeared. The latest one, played by I can't remember her name.
Anne Hathaway.
No, that's not the latest one.
Yeah, Kravitz.
The daughter of Lenny Kravitz.
Oh yeah, Zoe
Kravitz.
Yeah.
Zoe Kravitz. Now tell me, does she have any superpower? It's like some Catwomen have superpowers, or were leaked by a cat and became Catwoman, and others just like cats and a Catwoman.
I want to confess something. Actually, I didn't watch the last Batman movie with Robert Pattinson. Is it good?
It's okay. For me, it's okay.
I will not give it a thought.
Okay, let me round up then with the last one from myself, and yeah, this one is controversial too, but mostly any other DC character that is not Batman or Superman or the Joker. The Joker is
yeah.
But I think that they are not, they are not as good enough as Marvel. Marvel, I think that they have a lot of superheroes that most of them are okay, some are not, of course. And also villains, they have very strong villains. I think DC is Batman, Superman, and the Joker. And the rest, not well known, not well used in the cinema.
Wait a minute. DC, Batman, Superman, Joker, and don't forget one person.
Who?
Harley freaking Quinn.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But, that's original from the Batman animated series. She was not in the comic books. It was created by the creator of the animated series. That is, what is the name? Bruce Timm, the creator. So it was actually created for the cartoons. So that I agree with that. Yeah. Yes.
Right.
Okay. For those four, and then the rest are like vanilla. I don't really like them.
All right.
Oh, sorry to say that. I want to like them, but come on, give me something more interesting to hold on. Okay, guys, I think that we talk about superheroes long enough in contraposition with what we did in the first part, talking about the Shawshank Redemption. And I hope, guys, that we do this any other time. So I really
Yeah.
enjoy it. It was fun.
It's been fun.
Me
Yeah.
too. Me too. Me
Too.
too.
All right, let's
Me too.
commit then maybe for another episode or maybe more, and maybe series of. Maybe we became famous. We quit our
No.
jobs and everything.
No, I mean, I think this is fun just to have this conversation with like-minded people who also aren't just here for, to hate on others' comments and say, "Oh my God, how do you hate?" I think it was
Yeah.
Shireen who doesn't like Superman. Not she doesn't like Superman, but yeah, she found him controversial. Yeah, I mean, oh, what do you mean? I'm not subscribing you, Shireen. No, but it was more like, okay, I respect your opinion on that, and I see your point, and that's
Yeah.
I respect that a lot. I really, really respect that a lot.
As a spirit, after all, it's just a game that we play. Just to thank you for coming to this podcast. I don't know where I'm thanking you because I'm coming too. So
Thank you very much.
thank all of us.
Thank you, Conrad, for having us.
Thank you, Shireen.
Thank you, Nanto.